Brazil is a paradise on earth.
Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome to the first Kill James Bond of 2024. I am Alice Caldwell-Kelly. I'm joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Hey, Happy New Year!
How you doing? Happy New Year! We're recording this in the past, and you're listening to it in the future.
And I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to predict anything about 2024. What's it going to be like? No clue.
Can't believe
no
the
idea,
king died.
You know?
We're only gonna be like 3 days into 2024 when this comes out.
Yeah, but considering how 2023 went,
it's crazy what happened though.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real shame. But those of you who have survived to listen to our podcast, we appreciate your continued support into another calendar year. And we're proceeding for the time being with the Eurospy season, the season of solidarity, because we are so in solidarity that we're in solidarity even when we don't need to be, unlike, the so-called casuals.
Yeah. Solidarity's not just for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unlike the casuals of the Writers Guild of America.
We're like the Japanese holdouts from the strike, just on an island somewhere, still on strike.
It's like, if saving yourself for marriage is holy, saving yourself after marriage has got to be extra holy. And that's what we're doing by still doing a solidarity strike after the strike has ended.
We are the Eurospy monks and nuns, cloistered at a remote abbey. Sorry? We're back at it again with some OSS 117. And this time, it's OSS 117 Mission for a Killer, or Furia Abaya, where he goes to Brazil. And let me tell you, this is the first one of these in the big folder of Eurospy movies the Hogs have found for us that came with a README. So we are really in neurodivergence country now.
This one's good. I liked this movie. I thought that this was competently put together.
Yeah.
I think it looked pretty.
It's decent. I liked the other OSS Saunty set, but this one's good.
Yeah, Cohen Matthews, he asked for too much money and he fell out with Andre Unabel, and so he was replaced with a guy who we'll talk about.
Replaced with a straight guy.
Yeah, he's not as good an actor either, but this one had a budget, unlike a lot of Eurospy movies, unlike a lot of movies we've seen recently. This had like a $20 million budget, which for 1965 is not bad, and they spent it on some like inventive things. There's some stuff here.
You telling me that we're not gonna need to be in Vienna for half of this movie?
Oh, thank
because
God.
of budget reasons.
It's also weirdly Roger Moore-ish because, like, it's basically the plot.
The guy
Moonraker.
looks like Roger Moore. There's a lot of guys wearing safari suits.
It's Moonraker without the space stuff. Like, and also we open with a skiing scene.
Earthraker. We do.
Earthraker.
I wrote
Raker.
That's just a gardener, dude. That's not.
Roger Moore in Gardener.
The Constant Gardener.
Yeah, absolutely. But so I even wrote down. I guess it wasn't just Roger Moore. Skiers just actually dressed like this back in the day.
Yeah.
Because we meet OSS 117 on holiday in the Alps, having a ski with a hot girl, only to be interrupted by, I guess, M crashing into him on skis and being like, shut the fuck up. Stop having sex with this woman. You have to go and do some spy bullshit now.
Yeah, so Clark from Washington is here on behalf of M, we surmise. And he knocks over OSS 117 deliberately, which is insanely dangerous because, like, they're skiing in 1965. Nobody's wearing helmets. It would have been very awkward if he'd gone over at a bad angle and just, like, broken his leg or, like, hit his head on a hidden rock and fucking killed him.
Just perfectly Michael Schumacher's
If you're
him.
M there, you just keep skiing at that point. You're like, whoops, okay.
Shit, I just killed one of our top agents, like, completely by fucking accident.
This is a job for OSS 118.
Yeah, kill James Bond's safety tip: wear a fucking helmet when you ski.
That's right. But yeah, so he takes him back to his hotel room and he shows him some video footage that they have of a guy's plane blowing up. General Morano.
So there's been this assassination attempt that we caught on tape from multiple angles.
Yeah, we weren't expecting this at all.
Yeah, the dude got Evgeny Prigozhin. That's crazy. He got like,
That's right.
Caught in 4K.
A guy got Yevgeny Prigozhin, and then another guy got in a sort of open top procession where a woman handed him the bouquet of flowers that kills you instantly, which just explodes in his face.
Really bad hay fever, just bam, straight out.
Yeah. And so Clark goes, these assassins, right, they always get killed in the course of committing these assassinations. There's been 4 in, a month or whatever. Always
a suicide bombing, and they're always committed by persons of no prior interest to the intelligence service. Like, these people are just like, as far as we can tell, normal.
He says completely blameless politically, which is interesting.
Interesting phrase.
Yeah.
We believe they were conditioned by a drug.
Yes.
And then my note is, in all caps, you have to stop saying things that sound like Doom samples because they stack up 4 of them in succession in this scene. Every single one of these.
A drug that manufactures killers. That's it. Automated assassins. Under hypnotic suggestion.
Like, it's something about the cadence and the delivery. Just really, once it puts you in mind of that, you can't hear it as anything else.
Under hypnotic suggestion.
This
is this like sissy hypno gas from Man from U.N.C.L.E. It's the dronification. Like, they suspect that these people have been given some kind of drug and then brainwashed into becoming assassins. So head down to Brazil, find shit out.
Yeah, because Brazil it's a paradise on Earth. You're going to be a journalist. Meet this guy who I have a massive photo
Again, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, 10 by 10 glossy.
Yeah, it's not even an 8 by 10 glossy. It's like an A3 like photo bill of this guy.
Yeah,
it's just like, check this guy out, so unfurling it.
Yeah. So your cover is a journalist. Go down there and meet our man Thomas Ellis. He's on his way out. You're relieving him, so get down there.
Yes.
And we get some beautiful aerial shots of Rio, which looks gorgeous, actually. This film made me want to go there.
Literally filming this out of the window of the airliner. And there's going to be a few places in this where it's like the sort of touristic aspect of this. It's what Vienna wanted to do with Agent 3S3, right? Brazil does with...
Brazil is a paradise on earth.
Forgot that Vienna's shit.
Yeah. Instead, we're all watching the Vienna ones and being like, I'm not going to Vienna.
But also, one of the things that Clark says to him in the briefing is just like, because he's like, oh, damn, I was really enjoying having sex with this girl in wherever we are now, in the Alps. And then he's like, there's loads of girls in Brazil. I bet you'll fuck like crazy down there whilst you're meant to be working.
He literally does say this, yes.
Because Brazil's paradise, and the guy goes, I'm not ready to go to paradise just yet. This is actually a different kind of first scene, because we talk a lot about the 009 intro, whereas this is a staple of early Bonds. This is your main character on holiday getting rudely interrupted.
Yeah, I think Mission Impossible 2 does this, don't they?
Yeah.
There's 2 ways you can open a movie. Okay?
That's true.
Your character is on a previous adventure. No, it can be your character's on a previous adventure, your character is on holiday, or the third option, 009 is dressed as a clown and gets killed.
Yes.
Yeah. So he flies into Rio de Janeiro, and in order to establish cover, the first thing he does is steal a child.
Yes.
There's a woman there with her 3 young children, and he just picks up her young son and just carries him, and is just kind of like smiling and nodding throughout. Which she doesn't say a fucking word about this. She's thrilled.
No, I guess they must have met on the plane. But the idea is that there's this. She's actually just a traveling MILF. She's here with her kids, and he's like posing. He's standing near them so that people think he's a dad. And then there's 2 goons who are watching. One is I called Scarface, and the other is just like a normal guy.
Normal guy in Scarface, and Scarface has the best fake scar work in the business.
He's trying too hard. He's got too much going on.
Yeah, he's got like the bleached blonde hair and then like some brown sauce on his face.
White
the most obvious like rubber scar like glued onto his cheek. It's incredible. I swear it moves position in between shots.
Like wraparound shades, like alien eye-shaped fucking shades, like sort of oblong.
Yeah, every once in a while we run into someone in these movies who has drip, like beyond the expectations for that role, and that's kind of this guy in this movie rather than OSS on set.
This is your Cunty Josh award in excellence, I guess.
We have so many awards. We can't We can't do an award just for drip. We'd have to go back.
It's half of what we talk about.
The henchman drip commendation, I think. Like this is the guy who's doing that.
We'll workshop a name for it.
You don't get like a medal. You get like a little paper slip for it. You know.
Yeah. So these two guys observe him arriving with this lady and her kids. Oh, that can't be OSS 77 because he wouldn't bring his family with him on a dangerous mission, right? But then there's an announcement of the Tana that's like, could Agent OSS 77 of the Secret Service come to the fucking front desk?
It's fully just like, Agent OSS 117, please use the white courtesy phone. And it's like, yeah. Okay, so he like reluctantly puts down this child, which is not a sentence I was expecting to have to say about this movie. And he like turns himself into the beautiful Brazilian woman at the desk. And he's like, yeah, fucking OSS 77.
It's really funny because he's like resolutely ignoring it, and then when he like gives his passport to one of the workers, they're like, I think they're calling for you, and he's like, yeah, okay, all right, fucking.
So this woman introduces herself as Consuela Moroni, I guess named after the Mormon angel, and she's like, yeah, we'll take you to meet the guy with the massive butt photo, Ellis.
She looks kind of like 1960s me if my hairline was better.
I think that's an unkind thing to say about yourself.
I'm so glad you said yourself.
She looks good.
I also agree that this movie, it gave me 1960s woman dysphoria, as do a lot of these movies.
She's definitely my casting type if I was cis.
Oh, yeah.
And she gets in the car with him, immediately tailed by the like blonde guy with the scar.
They've finally given my boy a good car.
He looks out the fucking window and he sees this blonde guy waiting for him in yet another cunty pose. Like just like leaning up against the car. He's got his hands in his fucking pockets.
Yeah,
he gets in the car with Consuela, and he's got some fucking sauce here. I don't want to be rude.
Like he loses them, and then he tries to like riz her up. But the way he does that,
Are you fond of children?
Yes, when their mother is pretty. By the way, do you have any kids?
Yo, OSS 77 just rizzed up Consuela.
Which the nonce quotient of this movie rising alarmingly to be like, this isn't just a MILF thing. The way he delivers. By the way, do you have any kids? It's a little bit like, disclosure check this man.
He says, I like kids if their mother is pretty. And he says, do you have kids? She says, no. And he goes, the pity. And she goes, why? And he goes, I'd have loved them. It's like, oh, clever.
It's good stuff.
He does the OSS 77 line. He's like, the woman of my dreams is always a brunette with dark eyes. And like,
it's really good. She goes, I bet you say that to all the girls. And he goes, no, only the brunettes with dark eyes.
Which we've seen isn't true, but like she's also into it, which is nice.
He doesn't deliver it with the like verve that Cohen Matthews does. He's too straight for this in a lot of ways. But so she makes him drive to the port, and she's like, oh, he's just down here. Obviously, this is a setup alley. Go ahead. I'll wait in the car. And kind of knowing that this is a setup, he takes the car keys off her and then goes into setup alley, where he immediately dodges.
I fucking hate to go in a setup alley.
Yeah, he dodges like a pallet of like I don't know, fucking sandbags,
barrels and shit
that someone tries to. They try to drop on him from a crane, and as he dodges out of the way, he does a perfect OSS pose, like with the sort of like legs apart, shoulders up, arms out, kind of spy pose.
I love the spy pose.
Fantastic.
Every limb half bent.
And then three dudes try and attack him, one with a machete. He gets in a perfect uncle chop, just like whoosh, between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. One guy has a bolas, which is great. Like very cool.
Yeah.
Like
he turns it around on him too.
Yeah,
he like cool. Wraps the guy's legs up with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
The fights in this are decent. I'm not gonna say good, but like they're for what we've seen, they're genuinely pretty impressive fights.
Yeah, for 1965, yeah.
I think there's one that's good, and the rest are like pretty good.
I think I know which one is good. Yeah,
it's the one that's coming up in a minute. But so he gets out of the setup and finds that Consuela is gone. The two guys who are sent there to watch him are sitting there in their car going, we could probably just leave, right? We can just leave from this. So he sneaks around them, obtains access to a forklift, and suspends their car in the air just to fuck with them and then leaves, which I do appreciate.
Yeah, and I like that. First of all, I like that he doesn't kill them. He's just like, ba-da-ba-da. Like, we see actually for most of this movie, he refrains from killing people unnecessarily.
Yeah.
But also there's a moment where Mr. Normal Guy just pulls a gun and Scarface is like, no, like, remember, we've got to make it look like an accident. And mine would say, I hate it when I accidentally get hit with a machete, pipe, and bolus by 3 separate guys. How is that going to look like an accident? He was going to take a machete to the head.
They didn't pass the orders along. This is what happens when you delegate things all the time.
Bad goon management.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, they do not remember that it's supposed to look like an accident for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they give up on that after the forklift thing. They're like, fuck it.
So as he's driving along, he hears on the Exposition News Network that Ellis has been injured and he's in hospital.
They even say the specific hospital that he's in, which is a little too convenient.
So he drops his bags off at the hotel and goes straight to the hospital, which, again, my favorite, it's good work ethic from OSS Sandy set. Bond wouldn't have fucking bothered. Bond would have, like, the lady would have picked up and go, oh, you need to go meet a contact, and Bond would go, no, I'm going to get a drink first, and he'd go to the fucking hotel. OSS, straight to work. Very industrious.
Yeah, absolutely. So he goes to the hospital, immediately detects another woman who is asking for Ellis by name. And he just kind of like nonces his way onto a lift with her.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't try and riz up strange women and confine spaces.
It's a beautiful blonde woman named Anna Maria. She kind of looks a bit like your girlfriend.
She does.
A little bit.
She does. She's very beautiful. Which, you know, we appreciate on this podcast.
What about it?
And she's going in to see the exact same guy.
She found him by the side of the road. She's just a stranger.
He got car bombed, and she, I guess, like, rescued him from being car bombed because he was car bombed insufficiently. He was just like thrown clear of the car bomb. Meanwhile, the other guy who was with him was like car bombed to a permanent end.
Yeah, if you don't wear a seatbelt, you'll just be thrown clear of the explosion.
Yeah, it's actually safer in quite a lot of cases.
Yeah, exactly.
Kill James Bond's safety tip: do not wear a seatbelt.
You should have like 1.5 drinks as well before you get in the car, just to like really clear up your decision making.
Just to relax you.
Yeah.
So the guy's going into surgery as they find out from the world's least helpful nurse, who just goes past them and she's like, "Yeah, he's in surgery. Is it serious?" No.
She goes, "I don't think so." Like, well, it's probably pretty serious if he's going.
You're not supposed to tell people that either. Like, that's confidential medical information.
She's very louche with that.
Yeah, minor sort of surgery.
What were nurses doing in the 60s that they were just like this? Whereas now, if you just say, "Excuse me, where is this patient?" a nurse would be like, "Who the fuck are you? Get out." Do not fuck with nurses. Kill James Bond's safety tip.
I will say for the sake of just observing these things, that every nurse in this hospital is A, impossibly beautiful, B, wearing stiletto heels to work.
This is true.
Which return with a V. I mean, it must have been exhausting.
Yeah, it's
like,
strange they sent this guy to the sexy hospital when he died. Like the fucking carry-on.
When I go to any hospital I go to is the sexy hospital.
He's gone to the Winter Kills hospital where the nurses are all sexy porn nurses and fuck you.
Anywhere I go is a conjugal visit.
So they're prepping him for surgery. And by the way, I do note that anesthesia equipment used to look a lot more fetishy. There's a lot of like rubber and straps involved in this contraption.
Yeah.
I fucking love this. Kronstein Rosette to this guy.
This guy rocks.
Genuinely.
This guy has one mission. Please.
He's going to fulfill it.
The doctor's like, scissors, clamps, forceps, 9mm Luger, what? And then a guy with a 9mm Luger bursts in, shoots the guy on the operating table,
kills
which is
Ellis
incredible.
First and foremost.
Yeah, just stone dead. And then the surgeon and I guess the anaesthetist both go for him.
Yeah.
Like,
really respect that.
In self-defense.
Hugely respect they just went for him. I don't know what they train these doctors to do.
The surgeon's got a scalpel. Like, what's the anaesthetist gonna do?
I don't know. Fucking put him to sleep, I guess. Like, count backwards from 1,000, motherfucker. He's coming at you with the mask.
Are you allowed to kill in self-defense as a doctor? It's like
You're allowed to anesthetize in self-defense.
I swore I'd do no harm, but I'm thinking I'm back. I'm back on the old me.
it takes both of these doctors half a second to forget the Hippocratic Oath. Well, they start just like throwing scalpels.
Well, they thought that guy was transgender, and they're like, it's time to do harm.
But so both the surgeon and the anesthetist are killed in the course of doing this.
Line of duty.
The nurses kind of like flee. OSS 77 bursts into the room with Anna Maria, and we have the best fight scene in the movie.
That's right.
But the problem is, it's sometimes this happens in a movie where you have one guy who can fight or stage fight way better than everyone else. The guy with the Luger, who is he's in full surgical scrubs, by the way, which is masterful. Just picked that off the disguise rack. Mm-hmm. That guy is so much faster and so much better at selling the fight scene
He's
than
so good.
OSS 77 is. It's a really good fight, though.
Yeah, and he's determined to kill OSS 77. Like, he tries to strangle him with some shit. I like that Anna Maria tries to help. She, like, stabs him with a syringe at one point.
Yeah.
I like her generally as a character. She's always trying to help. She doesn't always succeed, but she doesn't just stand there like, eh.
Yeah, she does scream a lot and get captured a lot, but other than that, you know.
Yeah. This guy's kicking their asses for, like, the first half of the fight.
Yeah.
It's really phenomenal. Genuinely extremely good stuff. But as in all things, it ends with him getting thrown out of the window, which is OSS 77's favorite way to kill a guy.
His special move, is to throw a guy out of a window.
Apart from that one time, a guy just leapt off a balcony for a second. Just suicide henchman just fucking killed himself.
Yeah. So they flee the scene, and Anna Maria's like, well, why didn't you talk to the police? And he kind of unconvincingly tells her, I'm a gangster. By the way, here is my cover name, Hubert Delcroix. And she goes, oh, the guy who got car bombed and then shot. Man, terrible day for that guy, apart from anything else. The shot car bomb guy, he gave me this letter and this key ring for you, like by name specifically.
Yes.
So if you're him, then I can give you these and have done with it, you know. Go back to my ranch.
There's a really good line from her. This is one of my only drops I have, but as they're leaving the hospital.
But aren't we going to wait for the police?
I don't have the time, darling.
It's like, no, can't be asked.
No.
So they go to Anna Maria's gorgeous house. I'm not entirely sure what she... Oh, well, we do find out later what she does, but it turns out she is spectacularly wealthy. And he says, do you want to have dinner with me, even though I've just, like, killed a guy in front of you? Like, are you traumatized or anything? No, I guess not. Like...
He literally tries to pull, stay out of this, don't get involved, don't, like, leave the house, but also go on a date with me. Which
really
is
smart, hard to do, but he pulls it off, though.
Yeah, well, the way he does it is like, well, you know, of course it'll be safe. You'll be with me. Massive ego. But this is his, like, favorite move on her. Yeah, exactly.
And the notebook has next location in it, which is Ellis's office, his address. So Sondyset goes there and he's snooping around. There's some cool flute music as he's doing this. Very cool, very funky. And then another sexy lady, a third sexy lady, strikes the movie.
That's right.
Brazil is a paradise on earth.
Yeah, this is another Consuela Moroni.
Yes,
she's
Ellis's secretary.
The same woman. And she's, you know...
Wait a bloody minute. Hold on a tick. She's wearing one fit. It's the only fit she wears for the entire movie, and it's not good.
It's true.
It's like baby blue. Like, it's bad. Pretty bad.
Sort of the 60s outfit. High risk, high reward. But
there's some real bangers in here.
Yeah, she's like, hi, I'm Consuela Moroni. And we're like, hang on a minute, that was the same name that the other lady gave. What's going on here, right? And at this point, OSS deploys something that he does twice in this movie where he goes, why are you white?
He does this, yeah.
He says almost verbatim the same to each woman. You don't look the Brazilian type, right?
Why are you white and blonde?
Why are you white? Yeah, and they always answer him with like, yeah, my father was Brazilian, but my mother was Swedish or Norwegian or some shit like that. It's the racial politics of this movie.
So a lot of white people in South America, do not worry about it. Changed my name to Moroni from Mengele.
Again, the racial politics of Brazil and this movie both interesting in their own way, because there are a lot of people of color in this movie as domestic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only women that OSS only said is interested in or talk to or get any lines are extremely white.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the fact that this is sold as like a kind of tourist thing for Brazil is also interesting. But yeah, she's like, okay, I was his secretary. He's got a hidden safe, which he's already found. You, I guess, have the keys for it, but it's missing the one key that actually opens it. He has 3 keys on this key ring, and there's only 2.
Mm-hmm. And so she says, your next contact is a friend of Alice's called Mr. Salerno. Go and meet him, but not in the next scene. Like, give it a few extra scenes before you go see him.
Yeah, go and meet him on the Sugarloaf under the big Cristo Redentor statue.
But not now. Do it later. Because first you've got to go and have dinner with Anna Maria at a spectacular outdoor restaurant. I want to find out where that is. Beautiful views.
Does look good.
Beautiful views. And then he kind of like, they have terrible drinks though. They have Mexican champagne and Portuguese scotch.
Yeah, he's snooty about the drinks, which is like...
Yeah, and we get hit with maybe the most overt kind of patronizing misogyny in the movie, because she gets mad at him for like involving her in this and not telling her anything. And he goes,
Of your questions.
Well, now what a charming little temper you have.
which she is very enamored by it, and I guess
see how charming you find it when you're going headfirst over this fucking cliff, asshole.
Yes. I mean, this kind of
You're going out the window.
60s smarm, you know, like she sort of contradicts him about something else later, and he goes, well, there's that temper again. And it's like, ugh.
Oh, standing up for
Gross.
yourself and your own independence is just makes you more childish. Get fucked.
This is must be that fiery Brazilian temperament I've heard so much about. Like,
Yeah, because they go and watch a parade, and he goes, "Wait, but why are you white?"
Yeah, he goes, hang on, wait a minute though, but like, why are you... You don't have the Brazilian vibe to you. You don't have the sort of...
Anyone can be Brazilian. But yeah, because...
Brazil is a paradise on earth.
It's also Carnival, I guess, or there's some Carnival bullshit happening, so we can tick that off.
And she goes, "My father's Brazilian, my mother is Norwegian."
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I do like that at the end of the night, they kiss, but he doesn't push it. He gets back into his car. He's ready to drive away. He's not going to try and fuck on the first date, which nice,
It's
respectful.
true.
And we see that she's being watched by goons.
This movie is like clearly the biggest influence for the modern satire, like OSS on set Rio ne répond pas. And one of the things they do in that is, it's in the first one as well, is the guy with the comically big walkie-talkie being like, he just left, right? Following him around. This happens about 50 times in this movie. And so this is the first example where the guy's like, he just left. You can fucking like get her now.
It's really funny to see the parody first and then the real one
this
afterwards.
is pretty perverse direction we've done this in. So he goes back to his hotel, where bad Consuela, I've taken to calling her, evil Consuela, the one who set him up,
The fake Consuela. Yeah.
God. Yeah.
is waiting for him.
And she's still pretending, because she doesn't know he's met the real Consuela. She's like, oh, I got scared and ran away. Like, she's still trying to cover for it. And he plays along. It's fun. It's very clever.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. And she's like, I would like to like sleep in your bed overnight because of how scared I am.
I'm so scared in that.
I'm so scared. I need to be fucked until I'm not scared anymore.
That's right.
Which,
I mean, this is my personal treatment for anxiety disorder also.
Yeah.
It's...
Seen that meme where it's like, I just need to get railed, 16 hours of mental health. I just need to get railed. She's in the first bit of that.
Yeah, very much.
He gives her fucking tranquilizer tablet.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? There are a few things that Sanduset carries on him in this mission that I'm going to question. And the first one is that he goes into the bathroom and he's like, here's this bottle of woman tranquilizers I have. Take 2 of these. And because she's evil, right, she like pretends to swallow them. And let me tell you, you see more believable fake pill swallowing on psychiatric wards. Like, she's like, delicious pills. Which, okay.
Yummy. And it's like rubbing my belly like, So full of pills.
The face I make when I'm full of pills.
He gives her the tranquilizer pills and then starts undressing, which made me very concerned. But then we wipe to the morning and we learn that he did not, in fact, get in bed with her. He slept in the chair, which I was like, oh, fuck, thank God.
In the cuck chair, yes.
Yeah.
He would do it.
So he gets up and he goes into the bathroom, starts whistling.
But first, something else happens during the night, which is that the good Consuela, Secretary Consuela, who is suddenly French, finds somebody breaking into her flat / Ellis's office, which is the same thing.
I should explain the French thing. The dub just drops out at that point and returns to its original French. So she's like arate or whatever.
It's fine. I won't worry.
There's a really... So she's for some reason like sleeping in the next room from Ellis's office, which is like unusual. Also in her clothes, in her costume, which odd. But she calls the hotel because OSS somebody said was like, call me if anything goes wrong. He calls the hotel and the fucking goons have tapped the phone because they're like, ha ha ha, don't count on him going to rescue you. And then like fucking Scarface appears. I'm like, oh shit.
It's good stuff, actually.
Yeah. So then we cut to the morning and he wakes up. She's still, he believes, tranquilized. He goes into the bathroom, starts whistling. He shaves, and for some reason, this is the funniest thing to me. They've misdubbed his razor with a chainsaw, so he just starts shaving. He just is like, and it's like, what are you fucking clear cutting in there, dude?
It's tough. Sometimes you need more powerful shaves than that.
Yeah.
I thought that was just what 60s shavers sound like. My grandpa used to have one of those like rotary shave things that like always was really loud. It seemed so.
So
to be honest, it could be that.
Much like the Nas song "Get Down," she lets some goons into the room.
Yeah, he knows that this is going on, right? So he's setting something up here. He's got a device in the bathroom with him, and it's
a little tape recorder.
It's a little
in a
tape
briefcase.
recorder, and you see him like running his finger down his tape recorder spines, and one of them is like conversations on the phone, one of them is like guy in the bath, and he's like, all right, beautiful. He puts that on and then sneaks around to see her letting the goons in. It's just like, this is like genuinely like really quite good stuff.
It's very clever.
Yeah.
So she lets the goons in and then he gets them at gunpoint. And once again, I appreciate that he doesn't kill them.
But this is the thing. I return again to the Sanduset Brazil loadout, where what he took with him for this mission was bottle of woman tranquilizers, coil of bondage rope, because he just goes, hey, I have this.
Bring some rope out, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, go tie these guys up and then yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, his line is, do you know how to tie a parcel? And while I should be feeling normal about this, I come out of this mostly thinking about how I wouldn't trust this woman to tie a parcel.
Well, yeah, so he ties her up and gags her. My notes say, Acho que tenho COVID.
This is the thing, right? It kind of the rope work is too bad. It doesn't but
you're a connoisseur. That's fine.
That I am connoisseurs, please. But he leaves them all tied up and gagged on the bed together, and then tells them, "It's fine. Just breathe through your mouth," which is incredibly This is a good way to fucking infinite jest someone to death. You can't do that shit, bro. Like, I'm drafting the call-out post on OSS 117, right? You shouldn't be leaving someone alone tied up anyway. You especially shouldn't be leaving them tied up with their mouth covered, because what if they get a fucking cold?
Yeah, what if there's a fire?
Yeah. What if one of them has fucking asthma or something like that? You're just going to kill these guys.
Also, you don't want to interrogate them?
Well, he's going to do that later.
Yeah, no, his stated intention is to come back and talk to them, in which case this is an extremely risky thing to do.
And a little bit sadistic also.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's very strange. But it just so happens that he's left the tap on in the bath, and it starts to, like, fill up.
Dipshit.
Yeah, that's also irresponsible.
Yeah.
This guy.
Much lesser, but also it's a waste of water.
And he's wasting water as well.
Bastard.
Yeah. So now he goes to meet the guy.
Yes.
The
Salerno,
contact.
yeah.
And the way he introduces himself, it's not funny, but it's funny to me. I don't know why, but the first line out of this dude's mouth.
Enrique Salerno? Yes. You recognize this bunch of keys?
It just, for some reason, that just really hits to me.
I gotta tell you, I don't know if I would recognize a bunch of keys. It's not like there's any key rings on there either. It's just 2 keys.
Could you say the alphabet backwards? Do you?
But I guess I might go, well, no, but I do have a key, which the guy who got car bombed gave me, and said if I ever get car bombed, give this key to someone. Very specific.
If I ever get car bombed, give this key to some guy called Lair.
just a letter that just says open if car bombed.
Yeah, different letter for every assassination method.
Yeah, I got these all in a safe in my house.
Yeah. So Sandy says, like, fantastic, brilliant. Well, we've got the key. Now we can unlock the next level. So let's go to the office. By the way, here are the cigarettes that alert you instantly.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, again, this is the same gadget he used in fucking Bangkok with the cigarette thing that you can use to, like, station a guy outside. They've modernized them a bit into menthols. Also, small detail here, when he parks the car for this, he completely forgets to put the handbrake on. It just rolls forward in shot, and they kept that in.
This, plus the bath, leads me to think that OSS Sodiset's character flaw is that he's just, like, slightly absent-minded.
Yeah, like dangerously so.
He just keeps leaving stuff about the place and be like, oh, fuck, where the hell did
my gun.
Yeah. So I could have sworn I tied up someone earlier. Like,
well, it's like the thing in the previous OSS movie where that guy like opens the car and he goes, "Who are you?" It's just like he's very genuinely just like, "Help, remind me, sorry."
Yeah.
Have I met you before?
He goes into the thing, finds Good Consuela dead, like dead as fuck.
Yeah.
Interrupts Scarface and Normal Guy trying to like weld their way into the safe. And the normal guy, does my favorite thing, my beloved, the instant throwing knife attack. When you just have that on deck, when a guy says, "Hey, what's up?" and you spin and throw the throwing knife that you just have on hand for this.
You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready.
Ideal. I would love to have like an instant throwing knife attack.
So he shoots the normal guy, and then there's a third guy hiding behind the door. So him and Scarface and goon number 3 have a fight.
Every fucking goon gang has one guy who just goes straight to groundwork immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This third guy just like does a forward roll and then doesn't get up, just starts kicking him.
Yeah. And he's very unfortunate because in the course of this fight, the groundwork guy gets set on fire, puts it out, and gets set on fire again.
He gets set on fire a second time harder.
Imagine getting set on fire twice in the same day.
Because the Scar guy, he has the welding torch, and so he's menacing him with this. He's setting half the room on fire, and he ends up setting his own boy on fire twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, my note here says "get welded, idiot." Which okay.
So Sandy beats them. He retrieves a file from the safe, and he books it.
And then his cigarettes start going off.
Now, here's something really quite upsetting to me: is like that's the end of Scarface. We don't really see him again in this movie, and I missed him a lot. But a lot.
He fucking dies in this.
He's got to be the penultimate one.
Yeah, his cigarettes go off, and so he waits until everybody's in the room. The like gas from the welder is still going, and then he just like throws in a lit match and blows up an apartment.
Yeah, so 3 extra reinforcement goons run in, and he does commit murder at this point.
It's a double tap attack.
Having refrained from killing the previously, he's like, right, the body count's going from 0 to 5 right now.
He's like, fuck it.
Could have just left the situation. Meanwhile,
thinking I'm back.
Yeah, the water from the sink or the bath that he's left on is dripping through downstairs in the hotel, and so the guy below calls the hotel, and they find the like 2 guys and Bad Consuela that he has left tied up on the bed. And as OSS Sandicet gets back to the outside of the hotel, we see them getting arrested. Which, first of all, for what? For what? Is it a crime to get tied up in a hotel room? I mean, I fucking hope not.
Yeah, I hope not.
First of all,
better not be.
The kind of repressive laws they have in Brazil. But secondly, and to, I don't know, embark on a thing of slightly more seriousness here, right? Throughout this movie, we've been seeing Brazilian cops, right? The like Policia Militar, right? They're all armed. They're all wearing like combat helmets and shit. He gets directions off a couple of them on horseback earlier. And the vibe is like, these guys are chill.
Brazil is a paradise on earth.
This is filmed in 1965. Brazil was 1 year into a military dictatorship that would last another 20 years. And yeah, in a large part of it was based on making Brazil appealing to tourism, right? And this idea that Brazil is stable and secure and don't worry about any of the kind of consequences of this. I mean, this was a coup that was orchestrated in large part by the United States and something called Operation Brother Sam, because they were worried that Brazil had its like first center-left president, João Goulart, and he sort of like, you know, he refused to assist the Bay of Pigs invasion, which put him on Kennedy's shit list. Kissinger thought he was going to make Brazil the China of the 1960s. So they just had the military overthrow him in a way that is still, like, no one's ever been like charged or like convicted for any abuses to do with the dictatorship. They're still finding stuff because it's like even more successfully covered up than any other sort of dictatorship in South America. And so it's uncomfortable on that level to see the movie be like, check out Brazil, it's cool.
It's uncomfortable to see it be like, here comes the Brazilian cops.
Yeah, it's also a little uncomfortable to see a woman get bundled into a windowless van by a military dictatorship. They're fucking gonna put her on the pau de rara. Like, it's bad.
We don't see them again, so I feel like that's bad.
No,
It's just like that bit in Doctor Who where the Master gets arrested by the Nazis, and it's like, that's probably not good. That's not gonna end well.
No,
don't let him have that guy.
So he like leaves them to their fate and goes to check in. He's like, oh damn, I wanted to interrogate them? ? I'm gonna go check in on Anna Maria anyway.
Yes.
So he goes to meet her.
First, they have this scene, him and Selena in the car, and where they open the file and it's got dried flowers in it.
Oh yes, yeah, and this hits the big racism button. Excuse me, I forgot this was now. Well, he looks at this flower and he's like, "What are flowers used for? Making drugs. Who makes drugs? Oh, have I got the answer to that?"
These flowers are going to lead me to the Indians who extract narcotics from them and to their customers.
Doesn't know anything to make that. It's just a deduction.
He's assuming that, and he's wrong also.
So because of woke, I didn't immediately realize that he means indigenous people of Brazil.
No,
so I was
he means
like,
the
wait,
indigenous people
India?
of Brazil.
That's fucking miles away, dude. What are you talking about? Like,
no, just he means like indigenous people. He's like,
yeah, because I'm like woke and soy and gay, I didn't immediately realize that. I was like, whoa, this kind of took a weird turn. But he's like, yeah, I'm gonna find these indigenous people who are like making these drugs. I was like, oh, okay, there are secret villains, are they? All right.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing now.
So now he goes to see Anna Maria, and she's like kissing him,
immediately horny.
Yeah. And in the course of kissing him, she pulls out a fucking grenade and is like,
you don't want
about to Manchurian candidate him. And he sort of pushes her away, grabs the grenade, throws it out of the window where it perfectly lands next to the two goons who are watching the house. And the lesson from this, kill James Bond, safety tip, always drive with the seatbelt off with a couple of drinks in you, but also, if a grenade explodes near you, walk it off.
Just leave.
It'll be fine.
Walk it off, because like it goes off next to this one guy. He like limps a bit and he's fine.
Yeah, he was letting the sort of the red veins around the edge of his screen slowly pull back, and he was feeling fine again.
Yeah. So he's like, it's fine. Don't worry. I have something for this. Let me give you an injection. So again, I know that this man, he left for Brazil, right, complaining about how he wasn't going to have sex, thinking about how many women there are in Brazil, and what he brought to Brazil was bondage rope, women tranquilizers brackets bottle, and women tranquilizers brackets injectable.
Well, he actually injects her with the antidote to the flower, and I'm like,
how the fuck does he have that?
Where'd you get that? Especially since you haven't been back to your hotel room, so you must have taken that with you when you left the people tied up, which is before you even knew that there was poison involved from flowers. Where'd you get this, my man? What is this shit?
He was just injecting her with shit. It's just saline.
It's completely conjectured.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. Where'd you get that? You don't even know what flower that is.
But he injects her with this, and it's the next day, which it makes more sense if it is woman tranquilizer again.
No, he injects her with it, and she comes too, and she's like, the last thing I remember is you dropping me off after the date, and then I was unconscious. And he's like, you've been drugged, and you tried to kill me with a grenade. And then she's like, oh, thanks for fixing me. And they kiss, and my notes say, not an appropriate time.
No,
guys.
She's got missing hours. You're standing over her with a needle. Like, now is not the time to be kissing this woman.
But he does.
Take her to fucking hospital, like test her blood maybe to get the hypnosis poison out of it. Like
9/10 possession. So
I have a drop of her saying
Consent.
as if she's hearing it for the first time. So
found out about consent.
Consent?
What the fuck?
So what do I?
Consent.
Hold on, can you hit the consent one again?
I'm good.
Of course I can.
Consent.
I don't have the time, darling.
Yeah.
So OSS Sony says, like, just found out my actions may have hurt other people, been made aware of this.
Just found out these pills are woman tranquilizers.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's the woman healing pills. Oh fuck!
Fuck! They gave me the woman tranquilizing pills. So she is like, listen, we gotta go out to my ranch, my cattle ranch in the country in Bahia, because that's where the guy was on his way to. It's where my brother Miguel is. We're gonna
where these indigenous Americans live nearby.
Exactly. So
some goons
they go
set
to
the car on fire.
They do. On the way there, they're driving, and the goons' big plan is to spread gasoline, across the road, set it on fire, and then they just drive through it anyway and set the car on fire.
What I respect about this is at OSS, he's working with a limited budget. All of these goons are also working with a limited budget. They just be like, fuck it. Fire on the road will do.
Yeah.
Some shit I found, it's the red barrels.
At least make them stop and we can shoot them. Like, yeah.
They're doing the best with what they've got. Yeah, they put some fire in front of him, they stop, and they put some fire behind him. Smart. They're going to shoot him now. But he just drives through it, and they go, oh, fuck, fuck.
He's trying to just drive away from these guys, but he's hiding in the, jungle with Anna Maria, and a snake sees her, and she screams, so he's forced to kill two guys, and then just take their truck. Which is kind of unprovoked violence, but it's a woman-provoked violence.
They were armed. They would have shot him if they found him, I guess. And then
yeah.
Her fit in this one, all baby blue, headband.
Pretty good baby blue 60s in this one.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Yeah.
Take me back, Technicolor, save me, Technicolor.
Yeah, good fits on her in this one. So
God, I just go back.
They drive to the
movies in color now. Like, what is that? What do you mean?
It's the specific dye transfer process that they used before Eastman Kodak came out with good enough color film to do it in one go. Like, this specific look is because of the way that they made prints of films back in the day.
Oh, really? I thought it was just so. I thought they just colors changed in the 1970s, like some wine dark sea shit. That's just what everything looked like back then.
Yeah, no, everything was in black and white for quite some time, and then suddenly everything was in really bright colors, and now it's
they had to ration colors during the war, and then
that's true.
Yeah. No, bring back the kind of Technicolor saturated effect.
I need that shit so bad, dude.
But so they drive to the absurdly large, nice cattle ranch, where we're like, okay, cool. These are the good guys in Brazil.
Yeah, our enemies, the indigenous people of Brazil, and our allies, why, the humble cattle ranching millionaire.
Don't worry about it.
So Miguel shows up on horseback, and he's like, all right, listen, I'm going to take you to the billionaire cattle ranch owner. Because that guy's way better at cattle ranching than me, so he's going to have some fucking answers.
Yeah. He knows all about the local people and their customs. He'll guide us to them, and I'm like, yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, this is really good.
So they fly out to his even larger, more palatial ranch, and you realize, oh, hey, we were
crazy,
just destroying the Amazon for this.
For cattle, and now even worse, for feed for cattle.
I know. This guy's evil because he's actually evil, not just in the movie evil, because he's got his own private airstrip where he's waiting for them in a Rolls Royce. And I think about the Fitzcarraldo-ness of bringing a Rolls Royce to a cattle ranch in the Amazon you can only get to by plane, and I get very angry.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
My notes say these cattle ranchers must be killed.
No, yeah.
Truly, yes.
Hang on, I've got to drop that.
Kill this white demon? Thank you. Yes, this is my and Lula's policy for bringing Brazil into the 21st century.
Yeah.
The Brazil viewership going up.
You think the Gulag's bad? You haven't experienced the KJB Gulag.
That's right. No, I mean, listen, I think a lot about South American politics increasingly lately because I went on that big Chilean kick, and then Brazil also. I'd like to recommend a book actually because we did it on Left on Red. Friend of Trash Future, Yara Rodriguez Fowler's There Are More Things is some great stuff if you want to understand Brazil and the military dictatorship better, and also it's got lesbians in it, which I'm always in favor of.
Also, so much of the transphobia in Britain now was done in Brazil first. So much of the gender ideology shit and protecting schools from the influence of gender ideology, that shit was pioneered in Brazil years before anyone was talking about that here.
There's a kind of
the fucking Catholics.
Yeah, there are lessons for us. Well, also evangelicals.
And the evangelicals, yes, the Catholic evangelical
Bolsonaro's a big evangelical guy. He really courts those guys. Or courted, I should say. And yeah, I mean, Brazil has a lot of lessons for other places, but also its own conditions, its own places. I like thinking about them even when they make me very melancholy, as with a lot of places in South America, you know? If Europe ever gets too terrible, then I have to pray to God that South America doesn't join it, because that's, I would like to go to South America very, very badly. Anyway, this is all wildly off topic.
They're taking it in turns. Argentina's doing the weird thing right now. You just avoid them.
Yeah. I mean, Venezuela might be about to be on some shit too. The point is, this guy, Leandro, he's like, hey, check it out. I'll take you to dinner. His ranch is already more of an evil lair than the evil lair we're going to see, right? Because it's fucking carved out of the jungle in order to build a plantation house on it.
Yeah.
His staff, by the way, because he has maids and a butler, all of his maids are black. They're all wearing 19th century service outfits.
Yes.
At the table, while these white people talk about, as OSS 117 says,
the ways of these primitive races have always fascinated me.
Yeah. He goes, what brings you here, Mr. Delacroix? And he goes, well, first of all, I'm very racist. So got that down.
He says, well, why do you want to meet the Galapagos people, the indigenous people who make these drugs, allegedly? And OSS Sondi says, well, I'm a journalist and I'm really racist. I'm writing a piece for The Telegraph about them and about how much they suck. And I guess this could be OSS Sondi set in cover. He could be correctly guessing that this Brazilian cattle rancher is probably extremely racist, and therefore by pretending to be racist, I will endear myself to him. But also, it's interesting that Anna Maria does not react negatively to this, because she doesn't know he's a spy. He's just oh yeah, I'm a journalist. So she's just yeah, definitely, they are primitive racists. Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. So he
so she's
Leandro,
definitely real racist.
Oh, for sure. Leandro at this point explains the Galapagos to him, and he's like, the woke Brazilian military dictatorship are unable to interfere with their ancient tradition of human sacrifice. And again, what do we think South American military dictatorships tended to do to indigenous people? Nothing good. But yeah, no, because they're woke, right? They can stop them, because the people who are humanly sacrificed
consent.
And they take the drug that makes you kill OSS Sondi, and then they throw themselves onto a pyre, and because they
consent,
the Brazilian authorities can't do shit.
The Brazilian government can't stop them because they consent. It's a shame. It's because of their woke, and soy and gay.
Yeah. Because they get dronified, they get
take the shot, Captain Bolsonaro. I can't. I'm woke.
Won't do it. He's woke.
so yeah, Anna Maria. I get the consent drop from her saying, "Well, you can't just consent to be harmed," which is also the legal position of the British government.
Yeah, average Tory MP position.
Yeah. So he's like, it's fine. I'll fly you out there. It's in time for their big festivity thing. You can see some guys throw themselves on a pyre. It'll be a grand old time.
My notes say mixing cocktails and smoking cigarettes on my racist anthropology plane.
Yeah.
The 60s were a different time. Although I guess there's probably people still doing this in Brazil. It's just an embryo now.
I think this would be enjoyable.
Yeah, not the racist part, but the cocktails on the plane.
Hopefully nowadays we've got the technology where we can do cocktails and cigarettes on a plane without being racist.
I hope so.
God, I hope so.
But so the guy he makes them all drinks and goes, by the way, my pilot's a Nazi.
This is true.
he says he's only killed, jokingly trying to reassure them about the landing. He's only killed 20 people in 1940. Now, I mean, if he had just said in the war, Brazil was on the Allied side. Like, Brazil had an air force at the time. The Cobra was smoking at the time. Like, you could be, but he said 1940. That guy's a Nazi. He's a fucking Nazi. So just note that down.
And at this point, Miguel notices that they're going the wrong way. And Leandro and the co-pilot fucking pull guns on them. And they're like, aha, we work for the bad guys. I was ordered to kill you, but because we're old friends and we're all racist, I don't want to join us. Join our vague mission.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
I will take you to our headquarters, join or die.
Yeah.
Like,
kind of, yeah. And OSS Sondi says, like, die it is. So we get a plane fight.
Yeah. Do we start approaching like an Inspector Fang Singling like tier of destruction of set?
Genuinely, I wrote down Brazil's got a big population and he's getting through them quickly.
I hate how aligned we are on everything.
Yeah. The shared consciousness of Kill James Bond. But so in the course of this, every window in the plane gets smashed in a different way.
It's a good fight.
They're just shooting guns up there. I don't even worry about it.
The Nazi pilot gets fucking shot, first of all.
There's this unbelievably funny shot that I just want to highlight where like there's a fight going on and you can see the pilot like looking over his shoulder at it, and I'm like, I would fucking hate to be, because you're like, oh fuck,
just drawing the little curtain across.
He's just like pressing the seatbelt sign, just bong 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 bong, sit the fuck down.
Just be like, God, I hope this doesn't involve me. But it does. They shoot him. He's dead.
They shoot him dead
because he's a Nazi, and it's fine. It's okay.
Yes, yeah.
You can kill anyone.
Kronstein Rosette for killing the Nazi pilot of the plane you're in.
That's true.
That's true.
OSS Sondi Set gets Kronstein Rosette. So he takes over the controls of the plane, but Leandro holds Anna Maria at gunpoint, and he's like, listen, I will pop the emergency exit open, and if you shoot me, she dies too. So Miguel blinks in the face of like his sister being killed, and it's like, all right, fine, I guess we're going to the fucking thing.
Miguel's like, all right.
So they're flown to another airstrip where they brought into the lair, and the lair is, how would we describe this lair? I kind of like the lair, actually. It's a little bit like ecotourism.
Secret cave base?
Yeah, I had a great time with the lair.
It's got some walkways, and it's a very nice set.
It's cut into a mountain in the rainforest.
Yeah, it's built into the mountain. It seems reasonably environmentally sustainable.
They didn't have to clear the fucking rainforest for it,
It achieved passive house certification. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of grand designs lately.
We also meet our South American Hitler, Carlos.
Yes.
And he reveals
Carlos, our antagonist.
His plan is to do modern warfare shit where he's going to unite all of South America into one nation and then take over the world by force. Using the sissy hypnogas.
in front of a wall which has an admittedly really fire multicolor light up South America.
Yeah. It fucking goes, actually. I did write this down.
Like, whatever percentage of the budget they spent on the light up South America was worth it. Also, I want one.
Yeah.
We gotta get one of that for the Kill James Bond, like, layer, you know?
Yeah, 100%. The light up South America is, like, really cool.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, we're gonna take over the world. So step one, sissy hypno gas, assassinate politicians.
Yep.
Step two, unite South America. Step three, Carlos time.
They're not Nazis explicitly, they're kind of commie Nazis, you know? Like, he says later on to Leandro, a revolutionary has no friends, which is quite Leninist. But they're also kind of Nazis.
Yeah. It's never excuse to not having any friends.
Yeah. Revolutionary has so many friends.
Leandro is like being torn apart here. He's like, but these are my friends. I don't want to kill them.
It's so fucking funny because like Miguel, like there's this scene when they're talking to each other. Miguel is just staring daggers at the whole fucking time, and then he just goes like,
Betraying friendship is the worst crime.
out of nowhere, and you're like,
fucking sick.
Okay, man, this guy's just like personally aggrieved. He doesn't care about the racism of a Nazi shit. He's just like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, genuinely.
Leandro is upset when he hears that Carlos tried to kill Ana Maria with the grenade in the previous scene, and I'm like, you tried to kill her 20 minutes ago.
You were actually holding her on an open door at the plane.
Tried to use her as a human shield.
I can't keep using movies where the same stuff happens as a verb. This is gonna like.
They out OSS 77 as working for the CIA, and they say, you must betray.
Oh.
Yeah, they say you must betray your fellow agents. Tell us the list of all the names of the agents working in South America, or we will dronify you and make you kill these people.
They kind of know he's not gonna do that, and they're gonna have to dronify him and make him kill first Ana Maria, which is kind of like the breaking point for Leandro. And as they're leaving the room, Ana Maria is like, you just fucked up because you showed this guy you're a pussy.
Yeah, she gets this like insanely hard moment. She's like, you've shown pity. They won't reward you for that. And it's just like, ooh.
It's like, this organization won't tolerate failure.
Yeah.
And you see Leandro go, fuck, this organization might not tolerate failure.
He even asks Carlos when they leave, he's like, can we tolerate failure? And Carlos is like, nah.
It's like, nah, boss man.
Carlos is like, no, brother. We will not be tolerating failure.
This is the thing, it's bad management. If you just lied and said, yeah, one time we'll tolerate failure, Leandro would have been fine, but instead he goes to his room.
I can tolerate a quirked up white boy failing one time.
Yeah, and he sulks and he throws a whiskey glass against the wall and he's like, I guess I gotta fucking betray him to save my friends then.
It's so funny. He's the most conflicted anyone's ever been. His ashtray is full. He's got a fucking tall glass of whiskey. He's just pacing around his room, and then he goes, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Like, I will betray the big light up South America for this. So he holds up a guard, like Metal Gear Solid style, and unlocks their cell. And him and OSS 77 like arm themselves, and they go to free the imprisoned Galapagos tribe.
Yeah.
Listen, liberate and arm indigenous Brazilians. Again, a policy I and Lula share. This is what they do. You know, they bust them out of prison and they go, here is like 50 Sten guns. Follow us.
Yeah.
Which,
let's go.
Yeah, let's fucking.
This sequence is sick. We've got some flawless uncle chops going on. One of the tribesmen gets a silent machete throw kill in. 117 and one of the tribesmen like do some Assassin's Creed 3 shit where they hang two guards off a big rock. It's sick.
These two guys. We got to talk about these two guys.
Okay, stop everything. I need to talk about both of those last 2 points for half an hour each.
Please.
First of all, huge shout out to the indigenous guy who overarm threw a machete flat side down. I've never seen anyone do that in my life. Second, the hanging those two guards is so good because they're like... They're shown interacting with each other beforehand, and they're lighting...
They have a smoke break together, and it's
one of them is lighting the other one's cigarette.
Sensual.
It's so genuinely sensual.
I really expected him to just like lay his head on the other one's shoulder. Right? It's a beautiful moment.
I might make this the episode art. I have it. Like, it's so beautiful. And then like they both get like nooses thrown around their necks and yanked up, and my notes just go like that. Frankly, unbelievably sensual.
It's really sad. And
just it kills these fucking guys.
Yeah. So they have this gunfight, and Leandro calls in the Brazilian military, who I guess just had like a company-sized parachute drop ready to go, like on drop of a hat. Right? I checked the time periods. This is about 10 years too young for one of those paratroopers to be Bolsonaro. And listen,
frankly, unimaginable amount of people airdropping in.
Yes, yeah. There's a gunfight. It turns from night to day really quickly between shots, which I'm really fond of. And Leandro, trying to capture Carlos sneaking out, gets fucking shot in the gut.
Carlos and his boy Carl take Ana Maria hostage, and they run.
You can't be named Carlos and have a boy named Carl. First of all, it's like two. You gotta. One of you has to change. But yeah, they capture the most easily captured woman in the world. He's like, oh no, and they escape by canoe down the Amazon. Like it's kind of it's giving like Aguirre, Wrath of God in the last reel here.
Mm-hmm.
The Brazilian army...
It's giving a lot.
It's giving. The Brazilian army show up, and I don't... The homosexuality quotient of this movie in the last half hour...
Yeah, it gets really homoerotic, like really remarkably so.
Because the Brazilian army are like carrying Leandro really tenderly, and then as they're trying to treat him for the gunshot wound, a guy just kind of like is touching his shoulders in a really intimate way.
Yeah.
He's like rubbing his arms. This guy's wearing like a red beret. You imagine he's probably in charge of this, and he's just like stroking this guy's arms. And then Leandro and Miguel, like, they reconcile. And there's just such beautiful, like, low-key Latin music playing in the background of it. It's powerfully sensual. Like, it's deeply romantic.
I think
I don't know what happened to the movie to make the last like 10 minutes so gay for no fucking reason.
I would be unsurprised to find out, like, in the declassified archives, that the US Army tested a gay bomb on the set of this movie. Like, 1965, they're up to all kinds of shit.
They like released a gas on the set.
Yeah. But yeah, so OSS on the set commandeers a plane and a military pilot, like a little Cessna, and goes and flies down the Amazon, catching up with their canoe. And when she sees this, Anna Maria overturns the canoe, which is kind of an attempt to attack the driver of the vehicle you're traveling in.
I guess that counts, yeah.
Especially since, as we see, I mean, it takes on the vibe of a wholly underrated 2000s art rock band because help she can't swim. She fucking goes in the water and is immediately like, fuck, I've fucked this so badly.
She manages to get to the rocks, but Carlos goes over the falls.
He does. Carlos and Carl, both of them, both Charleses. Go over the falls.
Damn.
And OSS Sandy say he has to get one more stunt in. So what he does is he like motions to the pilot, I'm going to jump in the Amazon. And the pilot gives him this like perfect shrug, like, hey, listen, man, whatever you do. Okay.
At this point,
you don't have a military rank. I guess you can just do whatever you want. I'm going back.
If this guy wants to die, yeah, sure. And... So yeah, he dives into the Amazon, saves her, fishes her out by the falls, and
from the plane. Good thing the water was deep around those rocks.
Yes, famously the water typically very, very deep at the top of waterfalls, because that's where the pool is. You see, and yeah, he fishes her out, and they kiss by the waterfalls to remind you once again that Brazil
is a paradise on earth.
It's a paradise on earth, and that's the movie. Visit Brazil.
I checked. The Galapagos people do not exist. Also, nobody is credited as playing them, so I can't look up how racist the depiction of them was. I don't know whether those actors were real indigenous Brazilians. I don't know whether they were paid. There seems to have been no record of who played them at all.
That's fucking insane, and that makes me think that they were indigenous then at that point.
Sort of doing a Herzog thing again. Back to Aguirre. But also, while we're talking about people playing people in this movie and there being no record, the guy who replaced Cohen Matthews, Frederick Stafford, interesting biography, because he was born Friedrich Strobel von Stein. In Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
Fled Czechoslovakia in 1948, which would have made him 20 years old. He would have been 17 in 1945. He like fled the Russians. Per his biography on Wikipedia, it would take too long to move to the US or Canada, so he went to Australia in 1949 and changed his name to Frederick Stafford. And he got discovered by the director of this movie in Bangkok the year before, I guess making the other one. He was in a Hitchcock movie which wasn't very good and kind of ruined his career, and then died in a plane crash. But like 50-50 chance you can't defame the dead. 50-50 chance this guy's like some kind of Nazi fail son. It's a very murky biography, which is like...
I would say that's quite probable, considering the way the timelines line up here.
He can't be called Friedrich Strobel von Stein.
Why would you flee after the war?
Why indeed? Why indeed? So...
much to consider.
Yeah.
Although... I mean, another fact that you ended up dragging out here that I want to make sure is on the record is that he claimed, quote unquote, here in March 1970, that he was intended to play James Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
We could have had the Nazi Bond.
We could have had a Nazi Bond, but instead we only got an Australian.
We nearly had Nazi Bond, please fuck my daughter, normal. We have all the Zeit in die Welt.
Please make my daughter come like a howler monkey, you crazy racist bastard.
Now listen, Leslie. Listen. I'm gonna fuck my daughter.
This is close to 007. This is an ordinary German Czechoslovakian man, but if you change the name here and here, he becomes James Bond.
Don't worry about it, is what I'd say regarding whether this guy's a Nazi or not. It's impossible to find out.
It literally is. This is one of the things where, like, Europe in the 40s was so fucked by the war, it is impossible to say anything about it. He could have been on some Russian doll shit. We don't know. But yeah, no, that's the movie.
That's the movie.
What do we
That's the movie.
think about it subjectively?
That's pretty good.
What does it say about masculinity?
It's better than the last two we fucking watched, I'll tell you that for free.
That's true.
It's not in Vienna.
Yeah.
It's not got a guy scheming inside the fucking like merry-go-round in Vienna.
Brazil is beautiful, even if the sort of equivalent today would be trying to make this movie in like neon, to launder the Saudis.
Yeah.
I can tell you this: there's nothing I want more than a Bond set in neon.
The lathe. The lathe.
The monkey's paw curls.
I want that so badly. I need that shit.
Chase down the entire length of the line. Yeah, so
it takes 20 minutes to go from one end to the other. So
it says the familiar stuff about masculinity, which is drug as many women as possible. That's kind of most of it.
That's it. Yeah, it says drug as many women as possible.
Betraying friendship is the worst crime.
Being racist is always fun.
Being racist is fine, but being a Nazi is a little bit too far. Just try to be more normal
Twilight
about
Sparkle be like, betraying friendship is the worst crime.
Yep. Brazil is a paradise on earth. A managed, controlled government provides a much better touristic experience than democracy.
Don't kill people, but then actually it's fine.
Yeah.
Some of these fits are okay. All right, and that's
it.
We don't need to flail around wildly trying to end the podcast. We actually have a science-based rating system.
We can flail around in a predetermined manner towards the SCUM system.
Yes.
Stands for SMUM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence and misogyny. And this feeling like a kind of vintage Bond as it does. I think this is going to rack up Connery numbers. So, with that in mind,
I think so.
How smarmy is this movie?
It's got to be at least a 5. Like all that shit about like, I hope your kids are hot so I can fuck you. Like,
what a temper you have.
You don't seem white.
Well, you don't seem
Why are you
white.
What's going on here?
Explain your what is it? Fucking haplogroup. Explain your haplogroups to me, my dear. Yeah, fucking.
It's a great thing to do on a first date, I think.
Show me the 23andMe. 5 or 6.
I'd go 6.
6
Don't do a 23andMe. That's another Kill James Bond safety tip. Don't do 23andMe.
I did it, and then I revoked my consent immediately, so they had to delete all my data. But it did tell me I am 100% British and Irish, or like 97%, which is
devastating.
Yeah, like I found out why I'm white. Which damning thing to do to yourself. Now, cultural insensitivity.
It does so well right up until the end. I think actually specifically when you were watching it, Abby, you put in the chat like this is remarkably less racist than I thought it would be, and then a little lady wrote, "Never mind."
I sort of disagree. Right, in the racial hierarchy of Brazil, imprinting itself even more strongly on this movie to the point that you look at it and it's like, all of the like workers here appear to be black people, and then all of the people we're talking to appear to be white people. It's sort of like if you had shot an unrelated Bond movie in like Mississippi during segregation, where it's like, weird that I'm just noticing this. We're not like observing it.
They basically did.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. We probably should have made more hay of that at the time. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty fucking racist.
Yeah, for real. Also made up a bunch of indigenous Brazilians, didn't do any research into like finding a real tribe.
Whose tradition is human sacrifice and drugs.
Drugs.
Which, to be fair, they sound like the party tribe, but like, that's still a slur. Like,
yeah, it's still not good.
No.
And also the fact that the people stealing their land and destroying all their shit, oh, the good guys? Nah, fuck this movie.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck this movie. 7.
The Brazilian cattle ranchers.
This movie.
7.
All right.
7. Yeah, no question.
Sure. Yeah, fucking 100%.
Unprovoked violence. I mean, he blows up an apartment with like 3 goons in it for not really much reason.
Yeah, that's 3 murders.
I'm struggling to categorize the sort of bondage excursion in this movie as unprovoked violence, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't just hand them to the police. He just kind of goes, okay, well, I'm gonna place you in sort of a predicament bondage situation, and then be disappointed when the cops show up. What's he gonna do to them when they? So yeah, it's at least a couple, right? Like 3 or 4.
4?
Yeah, I would say so.
4. Okay.
I'm happy to put it towards 4.
And
then
misogyny.
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 I mean,
Consent.
I don't like that he kisses her immediately after she gets undrugged. That's not okay.
You can't be tranquilizing women like this. You can't do that. They don't even really sell women tranquilizers anymore for basically this reason.
Even if she doesn't take them, like, yeah. And also they're like, oh, that's a nice little temper you've got on you. It's like, oh, fuck off. And also the fact that his boss is like, hey, you'll be able to fuck lots of women while you're in Brazil. It's like, nah, get fucked.
It's pretty misogynistic as well as racist to ask a woman, hey, what race are you? Before I have sex with you. Which, you know,
true.
It's, and then women in this, Anna Maria gets to do a few things, but most of what she gets to do is get captured.
And be sexy.
And I think I think the distinction between this and something like FX18 is largely in the acting rather than in the script. I think she could have played this a lot more like damsel than she did. Mylène Demangeau.
Yeah, she plays it like Anna Maria's clever, which I like. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember how we've scaled misogyny in the past. I feel like this has to be like a 4, right?
I could go higher. I could go 5.
5? Yeah, I'll go 5.
Yeah. All right, that
for your fiery Brazilian temper.
I give that a total score of 22, which is pretty high. You're right. That is pretty much in the Connery Bond territory.
See, I'm a professional. I located this immediately in the Connery bracket.
Yeah, you're right. Same as You Only Live Twice.
It is. It's quite Connorific, but I'd say there's like a little bit of Moorish DNA in there as well. Like, there's
you can't say that.
A great word followed by an awful word.
What's wrong with any of this?
You can't say, well, Connorific is great, but then...
Oh, you mean like Roger Moore?
Yeah, the Moorish DNA, like...
Mooresque then, fine, whatever. I'm happy with that. Mooresque, so we know we're talking about.
Fellow ass.
You know, I concern myself greatly with Moorish DNA. All right, let's get the fuck out of this.
Oh my god, yeah, okay. So this has been a horrible experience.
And that's 2024 Kill James Bond,
that's
baby.
Right. We will persist with this until we get bored. The next bonus episode will be one of our choosing. The next, I think it might be my turn, but don't quote me on that. And then the next mainline episode is going to be Red Dragon, or in its original title, Das Geheimnis der drei Schunken.
Oh, it's another German one.
Not that Red Dragon.
No.
Yeah, not that one.
So
different one. Yeah, no.
We hope you have a fantastic 2024 and continue accompanying us through it. And we will see you next time. And always remember,
Brazil is a paradise on earth.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, see you. Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. In 2 weeks' time on the free feed, our next mainline episode is going to be Red Dragon. Not that one. I guarantee you it's Whichever movie you're thinking of, it is different and worse. But joining us on that will be Alex Patak from various of podcasts. The Dragon Ball Z one, War Raiders, things of that nature. However, if that is simply too long for you to wait, then you can head on over to our Patreon, where next week we're doing Zardoz. Special thanks, of course, to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Space Northpaw, Low Bjornsdottir, Candy Fox, Rare Aloysius, Gustavo Lira, Little Maybe, Jack Holmes, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhardt, Nick Boris, Power Dad, Natomori, Jason Hager, George Orohak, Kentucky Fried Commie, Drone Lover, Yarrick, Melody Gonzalez, the patron who gives you $15 instantly, Labor Delenda Est, Callum Burney, Jay Martindale, Trip, Library Hitman, Max Game and Heart, Jonathan Gerd, Mothman, Beef Crime, Kit Divine, Jack Drummond, Top O, Steve Widdershins, Anne Hedonia, Maeve Victoria Roth, Rosie Can't Fail. I really like Anne Hedonia, by the way. That's good. That's funny. Help, Send Horses and Men. Claire, Forrest L. Novell, Lexi Bomb, Lenina, The Project. Just after I started getting your name right, JR, come on. It's the new year, I'm going to start on this first one. Emery, Commissar Ozymandias, Whitney Wolverina, Trans Robot, Just the Worst, Hell, Joyous Uwu, Kill James Bond, Highlights, Zan Hutchin, Artemis, Violet Cybra, Isopod Gal, Annie Ruby, Katie Probst, Bronan, Clarification, Varatsukat, John 2089, Noblesse Oblahage, Connor's Cool Big Sister, Sergeant Jack Rum, Seng Shen, Alex, Liz and Ash in Florida, Corvid Cultist, Wolf Scott, Quinn Valeri, Grendel Growls, Wolfie, Philippa Smith, no, Finn Ross, Robert Greensmith, Abigail, Electro the Cyber Puppy, Loz Pycock, Mega Combi, Emily, Queen of Sloths, Turfseed Shit and Die Alone, Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons is my real life friend. I don't put any ceremony on his name. I've just read it out every single time. This man is one of my oldest friends. I've known him for over half of my life, and I love him with all my heart. Zoe Shepherd, Cheer Up Love Might Never Happen. Vay needs a new $15 membership so she isn't inconspicuous. You could get on top of that pretty swiftly if you wanted to. Talkative Tiger, Lauren Bastin, and Robin Minchus. Minchus, I believe is what I've been told. Kill James Bond is Alice, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Nate Mathay and lovely Tom O'Mahony. Our podcast art is by Matty Lubchansky. Our website is by Tom Allen, and there are still pins available on killjamesbond.com/store. It's past Christmas. I'm back in the house. I'm sending them out again. You know you want them. They're really good, actually. I love them a lot. All right, love you. Bye.